A very good evening, all of you. A very good evening, educators. We welcome you to a webinar by ECA Delhi Territory. And because of the COVID times, the sudden lockdown being declared, the schools went, the entire world went on a pause. And that is where keeping the child's safety as the first priority, the schools were asked to close down. We in schools we have always been doing things from the perspective of a lot of planning, and this was something that came to us unplanned, unseen, unprepared for. And every school took up their own coping mechanisms, and this obstacle suddenly turned into an opportunity, and many of them have formulated their own steps to ensure that they do reach out to children, and they do reach out to parents to help them cope with this lockdown. So here we have four school leaders from Delhi who have been heading their own organizations for decades now, and they will be sharing us how their schools have formulated a mechanism to cope up with this lockdown and what are the steps that they are following in their organization. Let's start with Preeti. Let me introduce Preeti here. Preeti is the director, founder of Petal Groups of Schools, a very well-known and a seasoned educator that we all know about. We have been hearing her in so many panels. So here we have got Preeti on our panel. Preeti, can you please share with us that when the lockdown was declared in Delhi, it was almost 5th of March. So I see that it was the previous academic year that you all were still couldn't complete. The
Yeah.
2019-20 academic year was not yet completed.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
So how did you, how did your organization plan a way ahead when you had to suddenly declare the closure?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Kausa. Such a need of an hour panel of discussion. And hello to my all fellow panelists, and hello to parents if parents are watching this. And this is a tough situation for every school, I say, right? Very tough situation, because all of a sudden this things comes in. Although I think first case comes into the India in February or January, I suppose, right? But all of a sudden this lockdown, and we are about at the urge of closing the session. Lot of last PTMs were pending, last group discussions were pending, convocation days were pending, so many things. And but as I think all educators are blessed with one of the quality, that is they are very creative, right? And they actually adapt to the situation very fast. So somehow, as per the government orders, we have to shut the school. But we called the parents and we did the PTM on we use the technology, and we did the PTM on that. But we kept one day, so that social distancing also can be maintained, so that parent can come and pick up the stuff of the children on their own. And we have set the layout in such a way on outside lawn, because we have a big lawn facility in our school. And but yes, that was a chaos by the end of the session, because nobody knows when the school will reopen, when the new session will begin. And this is very unfortunate situation, that parent doesn't know when our children will go to the school, right? We have not declared earlier. We have declared that in the management only discussion was going on, that we will reopen in the first week of April. But as of now, we have not declared anything, because we were in the beginning of the March. We used to declare all these things on the last PTM, and when we are handing over the milestones or the report card to the children. But all this mess happened. And but somehow we have started our session on time on 7th of April only. But yes, children were not there physically. We have started our session on online. But in this meantime, from March mid to the April beginning, we have done a lot of hard work to train our teachers, because our teachers were not well aware how to take classes online. This is again for them, this is a first experience, right? And a lot of challenges were there. Our IT team has supported a lot to us, so that they can convert their lesson plans into online lesson plans. And all the activity has to be in such a way, it should be planned, so that some of the activity are student led, some of the activities are parent led. And we need the support of parents also, but because children are too young to take care of their own learning at this age. So right now also online engaging activities are going on. We are taking the support of parents. We are interacting with parents, but yes, only online. no physical interaction as of now.
Okay, so you say that you could complete, if I sum your points, I understand that you could complete your online, you could complete your PTMs online.
Yeah.
You couldn't complete your graduation day, and then you
Okay.
had to quicken up and prepare your teachers for the online session, which started from May. So I would like to come back to you on this with how your teachers and parents have responded to this change. I would
Okay.
now want to go to our second panelist, Sumita Malik. She is heading the pre-primary department of Shiv Nadar School in Delhi. Sumita, how did your school cope up with this sudden closure being declared?
Yeah, thank you, Kausar, and good evening to all of you. I agree to what Preeti was saying that it was a very strange scenario, and every school plans the beginning and the end of the academic year where everybody is satisfied, whether it's the child, it's the parent, or the teacher. But we were towards the end of the academic year, we were all thrown into this pool of challenges where we had to again think on our feet and redesign a lot of things. Luckily, we do always send our report cards online, so that was not a challenge. But our PTM was, we always meet our parents before we send the report card, so we were able to finish that. Few parents we were not able to meet, so certainly we did call them, or maybe the teachers had a conference call with the parents and spoke to the parent over the phone. Apart from that, every school designs an annual day, maybe learning walk, or some other sessions which we also had planned, and few of them we were able to do, few of them we were not. Few of the learning walks we had to cancel. Few of the things where our children were practicing for, where we had to call the parents to show the learning journey of each child, we could not do that. So in fact, on the last day, we wanted to do justice to our learners. So we had our learners as audience, and we said that you show what you have learned so far to your fellow friends, and so that at least they feel a little satisfied when they are ending the session. Now, when I say this, there was a challenge for teachers as well. So when the entire session was ending, we all planned a lot of professional development sessions for our teachers during the end of the session, and there is a break for our teachers as well when they are before starting the new academic session. So our teachers had to not take their break, but go back and start again working on the new academic session. And the professional development session what we had planned for our teachers, few of them we had to cancel, few of them we had to redesign and do an online session for our teachers. So yeah, a lot of thinking on our feet had to happen, but it was a great learning for all of us. We also thought that this can be another learning where we can manage time like this in years to come. So those were the some takeaways of from this scenario. But yeah, our teachers have been on their feet since the last academic year. They haven't had a break at all. They finished the previous academic year in a jiffy, and then they had jumped into redesigning the entire new academic year, which had to be on a new platform. So, which was not easy for our teachers. They have been working tirelessly. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Sumita, on this, that we have been suddenly thrown into this. And I really hats off to all of us, that we have very positively come out of it. You know, I could see every school in its own creative way have faced this obstacle or and turned it into opportunities for children. And the beautiful part was that we have kept children as the crux of everything, and we could maintain that. So let me now introduce my third panelist, Mr. Harshit Bansal, who's been the director of Abhinav Group of Schools and Abhinav Juniors. And I would want your perspective on what you did in your school, the steps that you had to take when the sudden lockdown was declared and the schools asked to shut down in the mid of, we're here talking about the last academic year, which was incomplete in Delhi.
A very warm good evening, all the fellow panelists and the audiences and the parents and the teachers and the educators that are here with us today. And coming back to the question that was raised by our moderator, that how did we deal with the ending of the session, the last academic session that was 2019-2020. I am going to be very honest and very frank on this issue. Nobody was prepared for the challenges that were thrown onto us. It was an unprecedented time where all the activities had to shift on to online mediums all of a sudden, and nobody was even 10% of bit ready for those. So yeah, every school faced a lot of challenges, and especially when we are talking about preschools, I would say for the majority of them that they have quite limited resources to perform their day-to-day activities in all terms, either in the curriculum, either if we talk in the terms of curriculum, or we talk in terms of technology, or we talk in terms of areas, the if we have to maintain the social distancing and everything. So we were thrown into the pool of challenges that we were not ready for. To cope up with them, it did take some time for us to shift the mindset from the chalk and duster to having screens and laptops in front of the parents, children, and the teachers. To resolve this, to bridge this gap, first of all, what was required was to bring the teachers on board. That yes, the teaching can happen online also. So this was a major task to shift the mindset of the teacher, because she was accustomed. She was generically doing each and everything into that four-walled classroom. But to bring her out of that classroom, that was the biggest challenge. Second challenge that we faced was the parents. In India, we do not have a much broader spectrum for connectivity. And in most of the households, we do not have the connection of Wi-Fi, the facility of Wi-Fi. So most of the parents were accessing online things via their mobile nets. And we faced this problem that everywhere the mobile network was not as strong as it was required for those sessions. So this was the second major task that came up in front of us. I don't think apart from these two challenges, any challenge came up, and we did pretty well on bringing parents on board with us for the online education. And now the things have transferred onto online, and thoughts have been provoking that why were we teaching children in the offline mode when we could do so much online. This is my take on where we were during the last academic session.
I take it over from there, Harshit. I totally agree that it was unprecedented time for us, and we were so unprepared. And just like any other things that take us up, this was one of these things which has put the entire world on pause. And suddenly we had to think of things which we never thought of. And we have been very creative as educators, like as Preeti rightly said. Exactly. And we have come out with beautiful solutions. So I come to my last panelist, Mr. S.K. Rathore. He's the director, founder for Sanford Group of Preschools. And I'm coming to you last, sir, because I see that you have schools across India. So for you, this decision making shouldn't probably did not even just restrict to Delhi, but you have also thought about it pan-India.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kaushak. And I would like to thank everyone who is with us on Facebook or Zoom. So we have more than 250 preschools across the country, several primary and 2 K-12 schools. So this time was highly challenging for preschool people mainly, because somehow most of the K-12 schools are more or less technically ready, but preschools were not, I say. So that was a time when every preschool or primary or K-12 school was planning for the next session how to start the session, what is the strength need to promote to the next class. And in case of preschool, this was a transition time for the children to leave, many of the children to leave preschool to join K-12 schools. So one major challenge, what nobody is talking about, is was who children are going to stay with us, and who is passing out and joining senior secondary schools. This was a big question, because in many of the cities these days, parents admit their child on the last days, because as the number of K-12 schools increase like anything in metros also, so there is not any issue for getting admission in any K-12 school these days. So many of the parent takes call in the March whether to stay back in preschool or take the admission in K-12 school. So this is again was a very big challenge, to whom we should contact, to whom we should extend the digital learning content, or to whom we should drop. So this was one of the major challenge. Then every school of ours, we guided our preschools. I personally took branch heads and franchise web meeting. We guided, we made a plan how to transit from this classroom teaching to digital platform. One more challenge was no, I rather say no, because no preschool was technically ready. No preschool. Every preschool is doing their bit of technology in their classrooms, but none of us were ready to shift to digital screen. We were not ready. And even in the teachers in preschool teachers are not so technically sound, not so techno savvy. They had lots of issues in shifting from classroom teaching to digital teaching. One more issue with the teachers were, initially they were afraid of coming to the screen, because all of a sudden the parents of the children entered into their classroom. So they were so conscious, sir koi galti to nahi ho jayegi, parents kaise lenge. So this was again a big question what we faced. But I had again meeting of my team just 2 days back, and I just took their feedback, how the teachers are feeling now. I had meeting with the teachers. Everybody are so happy now, sir. अब तो वो जो पेरेंट्स बैठते हैं बच्चों के साथ में, ऐसा लगता है कि मैं उनके घर में ही बैठ के पढ़ा रही हूँ. So this is the kind of courage, this is a kind of involvement teachers shows this at this point of time. So I must say COVID-19 is a big issue for everybody, everyone, every human being across the world. But this I can say this is the vardhan for preschool teachers to learn something technically what they were not ready to learn in the normal school hours.
I totally agree with you, Mr. Rathore, that our teachers have been the superheroes in this COVID times. In one of my articles, I have mentioned our teachers, our educators as edu heroes. We've really come out so well creatively with so many ways in which we could reach out to children. And as I mentioned earlier, the most beautiful part was that we have kept children as the crux of everything. We did not think about any other challenge, as in why should we work for, why should we go for online training? We did not use it as an opportunity to run ourselves away from this. We faced it. We said we had to work parallelly on curriculums. We had to work parallelly on learning new teaching tool or giving it online, but we did it all. We did it all. And then you have rightly pointed out that this was the time when we did not even know that who are the students who will be with our schools and who will not. But still we reached out. We did reach out to all the students irrespective of that.
Yeah, nowadays everything is in place, and we know who is our student and who are not.
Yes. So over the times, we just went about facing it with all the confidence and the skills. And, you know, schools and education and teachers have never been so important or central to the discussion of every decision making as it has been now. is something, which I have noticed. Lot of the media or everybody is talking about how schools are coping up, will cope up. This was never the center of so many news that it has now suddenly become. And maybe because of the way that we all have taken it so positively. So can I ask my next question to Sumita here? Sumita, how did your teachers take this? When the lockdown was declared, what was the response, and how did you manage the emotional front of dealing with this change?
Yeah, very important question, Kausar. It was certainly very difficult for anybody and everybody to understand what is happening around in the world. So with our teachers, luckily, what Mr. Rathor was saying, we didn't have the challenge of technology because our teachers are well equipped with technology. But emotionally, yes, there was a lot which was happening. Like I mentioned earlier, we didn't give teachers didn't get any break because they finished one academic year yesterday, and today they were into planning for the next academic year, which was totally new. It was we had told our teachers that our teachers are excellent teachers where it comes to hands-on handling any situation, but we have told them that okay, now that hands-on equipment is away from you, all your gadgets, all your your resources we have taken away. We The learner, which only learns from hands-on activity, but you have a screen in front of you, so you have to teach that learner through that screen, and it has to be just your voice and your face and what you can do with it. So it was a huge challenge for teachers, and a lot of pressure as well. Like what Mr. Rathor said, I feel every teacher is feeling that every day they are getting into a child's house and sitting right in front of the parent and teaching the child. And sometimes there is a pressure on the, in fact, I feel every time there is a pressure on the teacher that I'm being judged, irrespective of the fact whether she's been judged or not. But that is a pressure there. And I feel that a teacher is actually performing every day. She is getting up, taking her gear, and going on the stage just to perform every day, coming back again, planning for the next day. So it's a huge challenge for our teachers, huge challenge. So when we talk about that, we do have our well-being professional development sessions, what we've been doing with our teachers, where we also try to talk to everybody. We make sure that our leaders are connecting with each teacher at a personal basis. I connect with each teacher. If there is any problem, we do support the teacher in the online classes. Also, there are people who are there to support the teachers, because technology is technology. It happens that a teacher's internet has gone, and then thankfully there's a third person to just jump in to take the class. So those are the kind of support system what we are creating for our teachers, so that at any point they should not feel that they've been thrown into the pool without any gear around. We are having the safety net around them at all times. We as leaders meet our teachers every day to understand what were the challenges of that day, and also to support them, give suggestions, and hats off to our teachers. They're all very open to feedback, to learning, to relearning. It is a very difficult task for them, but our teachers have really come out of this with flying colors, and I feel very proud of them, really.
Can see that, as I was mentioning, the emotional well-being of teachers, I see that all school leaders have done an amazing job in maintaining the uh, pepping them up and keeping the energies up. And that's why we can see the transition of the teachers from the classrooms to an online classroom. So now, Preeti, can you add your views here? You also have so many schools all across India. How did you deal with connecting to teachers and suddenly transiting them to this online sessions, and how was it to deal with them uh, and get them onto that emotional well-being? You need to unmute yourself, Preeti.
See, emotional well-being is one of my favorite topic, right? Whether it is related to the teacher or it is related to the student. What we have done one very different thing in our system is that we are not, all the teachers are not very techno savvy and all the teachers are not very comfortable to come in front of the camera. What we have done, we have actually selected few master trainers from all the branches, and those teachers are taking care of the students pan India, right? And we have given them the slots, right? Every teacher in every branch is not taking classes in our system, in our brand, right? So we have made a master trainers, right? One group is taking care of the play group, one group is taking care of the pre-nursery, another group is taking care of nursery and KG. So with those teachers, we meet them very often. Yes, curriculum developer head are meeting them daily, because day to day there is a support and there are problems are coming. But as Smita just now said, even we have one supporting teacher always there in every session. See, in technology, sometime teacher is not able to share the slides, sometime internet connection is low, so other teachers always support, and one IT manager is also all every time is available on the online sessions, right? This way we are supporting the teachers that you go ahead, we are there at your back, don't worry, right? So in the evening we discuss what are the problems they are facing, because it is it is easy to lecture, it is easy to say, but on online it is really difficult. Even we should understand for a teacher to engage each and every child. So we are actually every day we are doing a lot of changes in our curriculum, so that teacher can, next day will present the curriculum in such a way so that every child will at least raise the hand. Initially in the first week, children were just looking at the teacher, what is she doing, why is she moving on screen, right? And then slowly and steadily children have started picking up the object, they're talking about the object, they are, showing, they're dancing with the teachers, they are actually copying the rhymes and all this stuff. This process was challenging initially, but now as the day are passing by, the system are getting smoother. Teachers are also gaining confidence, as Harshit just now said that why we were earlier, where we were, right? The system was not there, but the system is again, very good if you feel, if you take benefit of it. But yes, we are still missing the, one to one, interaction with the children, because children need hug, children need a touch. So these are the things when sensorially we always says that a lot of sensorial activities are required for children for the all-round development, that is missing.
Totally agree with you, Preeti. I'm also missing the giggles of our children in the
Yes,
school.
yes,
They
yes.
used to
And
play around, the
just
fun, their
to add,
stories, and maybe for a more longer time, we are going to miss that physical presence and the
Now we
touches
can
and
listen
hugs.
now we can listen the chirping of bird, but we cannot listen the giggling of children.
That's how it is, right? We never realized how important they were is a part of our life till the time it was suddenly gone from our lives. So,
When teacher says, when teachers say all of you clap very fast, they laugh and they fast. We can only estimate, yes, they are very happy while they are clapping. We can only think about this.
through that. So Harshit here, as Preeti has rightly pointed out, and very beautifully, she has given us actually an idea of structuring how to give training by keeping, using the staff efficiently by giving them different roles and then creating teams. And that's how she has taken it up with her school. Harshit, what's your perspective? Being a standalone schools, you do not have lot of staff which is involved into the support into supporting the teachers. So how did you handle it as probably a one-man show?
First of all, going back to the last point that Preeti ma'am just mentioned was, where was that system? When the system was already there, the need was missing. And as we rightly know that the need is the mother of all innovations and inventions. So when the need came in, we as educators and all our teachers zoomed into it and came out with excellent and flying colors. And before coming to the question, Kausar, you just asked, I would like to take a moment and appreciate all the teachers that are working even outside of their stipulated time to give whatever they have to their children online, on phone calls, on meetings, each and every way they can. So we should time to time appreciate all our staff members, because that motivates them to give their best. Without that, any training goes vague. It does not reveal any fruits. And now coming back to how to handle these challenges as a standalone entity. See, Preeti ma'am very rightly said that we have to use the resources available very smartly and very in a very tactful way. So all the teachers present in the school are not tech savvy. They are not so much indulged into using even smartphones also. So to bring them on board, what we did was we selected, or we found out the teacher who was most engrossed and most able to adapt to these changes. And as we say for children, peer learning and co-learning is the best option to learn. So rather than bringing any outside trainer, or bringing the in charge or the headmistress or the head into the scenario, what I did was I let them brainstorm on their own, so that if the challenges are coming to them, they should be the one to find out the solution. Solution should not come to them. If the solution goes to them, they will learn it. They will not learn it forever. They'll learn it for 3 months, 6 months, or maybe an year. But after that 1 year, they'll easily forget what they learned. So this is what I did. Did not intervene at all between the teachers. I let them decide, let them brainstorm. I let them find the solution on them, on their own. And now I can very happily say that all my teachers have been on board. Those who are into middle age now, and those who have crossed the bar of 40 even. So they are doing pretty well. Why? Because they are finding their solutions on their own. That's what I have to say to this.
That's an interesting perspective, Harshit. You know, you have actually led your team by setting an example, by you yourself giving them an opportunity to think and come out of this scenario on their own. Probably that is what you want your teachers to translate to your school students, that they need to also learn that value of being resilient, and should be able to get up when they fall and find a way out. So that's an interesting perspective, and I'm sure there is a huge takeaway for standalone schools in what you have given us.
Yes.
Mr. Rathore, can you give me your perspective about how you dealt with transiting teachers from classrooms to these online engagement classes, and what about their emotional well-being in the process?
See, like Preeti ma'am, initially we also were discussing to have some central team to give the classes to all the students across the country in slots, different slots. But then we discussed, and my team was very much concerned about the emotional connect of the children with their teachers, because the schools were closed by 5th of March in Delhi NCR. April first week we had to start our new session. So children were missing their friends, their classmates, their teacher, their school, everything. So then we decided, let's find out some good teachers from every branch. Not centrally, but every branch must be having at least one teacher who is a little bit better in technology as compared to other teachers of that school. So we find out some teachers, 2-3 teachers from every branch of mine, and then we did Zoom training for those teachers. So before starting the session, we had at least I think 3-4 days of their teaching, what our team, academic team and IT team make them understand how the digital content will be shared, and how digital content you need to make them activity plan कैसे किया हम लोगों ने. So initially one more thing, teachers didn't had any books at their place. because all of a sudden the schools were locked down. So teacher doesn't have, then many of the teachers don't have laptops at their home, because our presence in small towns also, the net connectivity is a big issue. I had meeting yesterday itself from some remote area branches, so they still have problems to conduct any digital classes. So there are lots of challenges were there, and we need to take up every challenge every day, because
Right.
this is the time to keep the children engaged, because we cannot leave a child for so long without the education. And I'm sure, and everybody is predicting, at least preschools were not allowed to reopen by September, October. So how come any child be taken away from their learnings or education for 6 months? If it is a matter of a month or 2 or 3, then it could be taken like that. But for 6 months, the child could not be taken away from the education. And all the children, and I tell you, in small cities, there is no concept of nursery admission. Parent goes to K-12 schools when the child comes in first standard in many of the small cities. So we need to take care of their academics also. When we talk about nursery and KG, so academic starts in those ages. So we need to take care of their academics also. So gradually, initially first week, there were very few attendance of the children. Then gradually, as soon as their own teachers started coming on the screen, their own classmates sitting on the screen having, then we communicated with the parents, please make your child ready in the school uniform. When the children sit in front of a school uniform in the screen, and other children are sitting in their home, so they were so happy. My friends, then the things started going streamlined. Now I tell you one thing, in metros, 80% of my students are taking these digital learning classes. And what kind of activities we are passing on to the parents? I did my session with the parents, and I requested parents to become their teacher. Whatever we are sending, they have to be involved in the activities, so that, because these are so small children, 3 years, 3.5 years, 4 years, and even many of the children below the age of 3 years. It is not possible for the children of this age group to cope up with the technology, to do the activities themselves, to sit in front of a screen for 40 minutes or 30 minutes. It's not possible for those children. So in our case, and I think in all other preschool scales also, parents involvement, we created parents involvement, we created their interest out of that. And I tell you, the parents are supporting us like anything in their child's education today. And I am so happy to see the involvement of parents after so long time, the kind of involvement I'm seeing these days. Parents were not so interested about their education. ठीक है, स्कूल जा रहा है बच्चा, होमवर्क कराना है, ये वो पीटीएम अटेंड करनी है, यहाँ तक तो वो ठीक थे. बट कोई भी एक्टिविटी की अगर बात करते थे तो सर हम बिजी हैं, मैडम हम बिजी हैं, ऑफिस के काम है, ये काम. बट नाउ बिकॉज द चाइल्ड एंड पेरेंट बोथ आर लॉकडाउन इन देयर हाउसेज, so they don't have that much of busy schedule. They are taking interest in their children activity, and children are learning much more better, much more faster what they were learning earlier. So this is my observation out of 1 month of this digital learning things.
Digital learning. So I now take that from you, Mr. Rathod, that you have already connected me to my second part of the session, where I was going to talk about parents and how parents are responding, and you have already given me a view on that. With this, I would like to take certain questions which are coming on FB Live. Many of them have given us a good feedback about children enjoying the Zoom live classes, and some of them are also asking that what kind of online sessions are we talking about, and how are screens, will screens not affect children? And with this, I would like to take this perception. I would like to clarify certain things, that we are not talking about longer hours of online sessions here. We're not talking about a 9 to 12 school of a straight online session. We are talking about an engagement plan. As in, usually the children used to sit on screens for certain times, and they would sit on the screen because they were entertaining for them. But what schools are doing is they are trying to create engagement for children, where they're not just sitting on screen, but they are also taking some good takeaways from there, which helps them think about it, which helps them build certain things on their own, and which gets them to get to know their families better, get to know their own house, their own neighborhood better, and themselves better. So that kind of an engagement plan is what schools are doing, and not the 9 to 12 online classes, which most of us are probably assuming. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that was the transition that required a lot of work to be done, because till yesterday the teacher was the one who would be giving the entire lesson, and now you have to unfortunately bring the screens into the classrooms, and we will have to start using them as one of our teaching tool. So screens for us are just a tool for us to reach to our children, and then we quickly emotionally connect to them, and quickly listen to their stories and share our stories. We have conversations with them, and then we bring them to a classroom engagement plan where we share certain activities which bridge them to also to the learning outcomes and the proper developmental domains. That is the engagement plan that we are talking about. And we are not talking about a online session of 1 or 2 or 3 hours that many of us are probably assuming.
Adding
With
adding to
this,
what ma'am you just said, if any preschool is planning to have more than 2 or 3 sessions in a day, have them at regular intervals so that the child's eyesight can rest for a while, and then again you can come back up with your session. So
I think there is no need of having more sessions for a child.
the two
This is
are more than enough.
no, 2 hours is also very long period, because in case of preschool education, early childhood education, we have to do the activities with the children. So we need to plan activity accordingly. What the parents can help the children to enjoy that activity, and we need only one hour's time or 40 minutes time to take the digital session, Zoom session, so that parent can understand and the child can take the things what teacher is telling. Rest of the time, leave what we are doing. We leave rest of the time for the activities what children are doing with the help of their parents.
Sumita, you wanted to add a point
Yeah,
here?
I just wanted to add here what Mr. Rachor is saying is absolutely correct. We need to look at the research. What research says that how many hours are right for a young learner of 3 years to sit in front of screen. It is certainly not more than an hour in a day. So even if we are recording a session and sending, or we are doing an online session, we have to keep in mind as a school that the screen time for a child at that age should not be beyond that. One is this, and the second is that the activities what we are giving should be more skill based, where the child is taking ownership of the learning and doing the skills on his own or her own. That is something what we really need to focus a lot on. Yeah.
So Preeti, would you like to add a point here? Because with your school, I've seen that most of your curriculum is play-based curriculum. So turning it, giving those activities back home was easier for you, and how did your children respond to it?
Yes, we, as I have mentioned earlier also, that we have changed our lesson planning totally, that we have changed our curriculum, that those activities, those which children can do along with their parents, we are only giving them those activities, right? But at the same time, what Smita said, as per the research, we are also taking only 2 sessions till KG. Not, this is not only for pre-nursery or a playgroup. 40-40 minute session in which 5 to 10 minutes is just to say hello and hi to the children. They can say hello and hi to their friends, and engaging. 10 minutes is for the engagement, and another 30 minute teacher will talk something to the, or talk about the activities, whether they can do the dusting, whether they can talk about the object which is near to them, any random, whether they can measure the distance from where they are sitting to the next chair, like with the footsteps. This is very easy activity, but it actually involve 5-7 minutes of each child, right? So we are actually changing our activities and we are helping our children how to roll their towel, right? In school we used to tell them how to roll their mat, but at home we can tell them how to roll your towel. So that how to wipe yourself. If you have a doll with you, you should learn this also. This is a life skill and this will make you independent. So these very small activities, but at the same time we are working on their fine motor skills also, gross motor skills also. We are helping them to learn the colors. We are helping them to build their vocabulary. If they are talking about the object, if they are talking 3 words, that is building up a vocabulary. If they are introducing themselves, then what new thing they have learned yesterday, what new activity, which new indoor game they are into. Before that, we are taking a proper session with the parents, then we are indulging these activity with the children.
Okay, so that's an interesting perspective, that we understand that with online classes, we mean that we are looking at the skill development, life skills, and we are also looking at tools that which they can find easily back home. So that will make them more engaging back home. That will make them more engaging in their house lockdown environment, and that's how learning can also happen. So
I think
learning has
they can, what do you call that? If they have a water and of different classes, what new activity they can,
Nice.
put the music out of it. And this is a very beautiful activity. Jal Tarang, if everybody knows about it.
Yes, yes, yes.
So they enjoyed a lot these activities.
Interesting. So some of them had these questions. This question I would want Mr. Rathod to respond. That some of them have been asking this question online. That what were the technological issues that did we face any technological issues, and was Zoom very important, or did we use only Zoom, or did we have any other platform that we wanted to use or we have used? And what were the other technological glitches that we faced when we were conducting this online engagement plans?
See, there's not only Zoom is not only the platform where we can go for the live classes or digital classes. There are lots many. I think 4, 5, 6. There are many other platforms also, and my different branches are using different platform. Many of the branches are using Skype, and many of the branches are using way to meeting.
So you say that we can choose the the platform after discussion with parents, what suits both the parent and the teacher mutually.
Yes, yes. Many
So
of our branches are using Skype because they were familiar with using Skype earlier also.
Yeah, so important is not which tool or which platform we use. Important is what content or what engagement plan we are giving. That's more important.
Yeah, this is a technology which we are using for the conducting our classes. But the important is what kind of activities you are planning and how you are going to implement with the children. I tell you, in many of our branches areas where net is not so powerful, so strong, there we are using WhatsApp only. So WhatsApp call is possible. 4 people can connect on WhatsApp video call at one point of time. So teachers are doing like that only. So the hard work of teachers is gone up like anything in those areas where the issue of net is there. So,
Yes.
but we have to make sure every child has to be given same kind of opportunity to learn.
Yes.
I think it's a very important point what Mr. Rathod is pointing out on, that the medium is not important. It's very important for us to connect with the learner.
Yes.
Because that connect should not hamper, and it's important for us as educators to keep connecting with our child and the parent. That has to be on a continuous basis. Yeah.
And initially, I tell you my experience. Initially, parents were also not so serious about the digital classes. Everybody was expecting, okay, 14th April को तो lockdown खत्म हो जाएगा, उसके बाद normal classes लगेंगी. So parents were not serious, but now I can see 100% of the parents are serious about the education of their child, because they have also understood the schools are not going to reopen very soon. So now the parents are also finding out their own ways, because in many of the parents' house also there is no laptop, no desktop. So they are using mobile phone. So that's why, because the screen size is so small in case of mobile, we cannot give what Harshit said. two hours or session, or 3 hours or 2.5 hours or 1.5 hours. 40 minutes, 30 minutes is more than sufficient to
More
make
than
them
sufficient.
understand what to do with the children, and then the physical activity will be carried out at home only.
So what I understand, or what if I try to sum up what we have discussed till now, that it was a sudden, it was a very difficult time for all of us, where we had to and that more so because of the less resources that we have, or less support that we have in the preschools structures, that we had to parallelly work on many sectors. One was replanning, revisiting, or redoing the entire curriculum from the perspective of skill and not from only the perspective of learning outcome. Second was how to transit this curriculum online. And then third important was how to train, or how to equip your teachers to actually take this curriculum and translate it online. So these three steps were the coping mechanisms for all of us unanimously, and it was a challenge, and we all have come out in our own ways, and we all are successfully doing it. Now my question is about how parents have responded to this. When you started with this online engagement plan, what did they say initially? Were they resistant to this change? And after taking it, how are they responding to it now? Harshit, can I start with you on this?
Obviously, when the whole paradigm shifted to online from offline, there was a resilience from the parent side also. They were as teachers also, they were not able to adapt to that kind of learning. But in due course of time, I think in a week's time or 10 days time, they in fact started enjoying those activities with their children. And now, as daily reports come from the teachers, or daily videos they are sharing with me and the on the team groups, parents are actively taking participation in those sessions that are being conducted for the children. The activities that the teacher is sending out to the child, parents are doing it with the children and enjoying it much more than the child. So this COVID-19 coronavirus time has also allowed the parents to spend that quality time that was missing from the children's life. So parents have taken it wonderfully. The teachers and the parents, they have taken this tough time wonderfully.
So you say there was no resistance from parents,
It
and they
was
have taken it
initially,
very
up to 7 to
initially.
10 days, the resilience was only the adaptation. Once they got accustomed to the online classes, they started enjoying those well.
Good.
Yes.
So what about, did any parent come back to you with something like, what's the point of giving an online engagement plan when we are also spending the similar time with them?
They had the issue to keep the child busy. They came to us to start the classes, because they are in the plan to that 6 hours of the child's day schedule have to go to school. And when they are home, they are not at their offices, they are not at their works, they are also at home, and they need the child to be engaged somewhere, or they will have to keep the child engaged. So for that,
Yeah.
they came to school,
So
not a
yeah.
platform where children are kept busy.
So Abhinav, you have very importantly pointed out here that during this session, the online engagement plan, one was the crux of the program was the child, was to engage the child. And yes, parents have to get involved. But parents were also looking for something like this.
Yes,
Parent wanted a plan to come from school where they can help their children and they can get involved. And it was somewhere empowering the parent also.
exactly. It was, see, we always plan to do mom and me sessions in our preschools, so that parents get to know what their child does in school, what all activities he's going through, what all the teacher is doing in the premises inside the closed classroom. The whole academic year went into the discussions on CCTV cameras and everything. Now that issue is
Yes.
resolved. The teacher is in front of the child. The
So
teacher is in front of
it's kind
the
of a
parent.
blessing in disguise for the
It's a
parents,
blessing
you
in
see.
disguise. Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. So parents did find it difficult in the initial days, but now they are finding it more and more easier and more comfortable. They are enjoying it. This golden time they are enjoying with their children.
So we have certain questions which are coming online. They are saying that they say that it's almost impossible to keep the children engaged with the online sections. So what's your take on this, Preeti? You are on mute.
I will say it is difficult, but it is not impossible, right? It depends upon the person who is taking their online classes, or you can say home-based learning also, right? If you are engaging the child with a word, suppose you are starting the session, hello everyone, good morning, or either you have a puppet in your hand and say, hello everyone, a very good morning, how are you? With the names, I think in meetings you can read the name of the children. It depends how you
Yeah.
begin the session.
How
It
you
depends
connect with
how
them.
you
Yeah.
end the session. Meanwhile, voice modulation also matters, right? Either you are helping the child in movement. See, even we all know that after 10 minutes, child wants to move. After 5 minutes, child wants to move. Please allow the child to pick up something. Please allow the child to keep something. If you are engaging the child, then it is not difficult. But if you are giving a lectures to the children, definitely they are not interested in hearing you altogether for 40 minutes or 30 minutes. Rather, they will listen to the cartoon or they will see TV. That is more interesting, colorful, and moving very fast. So it depends upon the person how you are engaging the children, right? If you are
Agreed.
doing a rhyme voice, whether you are using voice modulation or not, whether you are using some props or not. So we are taking care of all these things, which is helping us to engage the children.
Yeah,
Absolutely. If I
Sumita, I would like you to add a point here. I where some of the people or some of our educators online have also talking about how teachers are connecting emotionally with children when they take this online engagement plan. Can you put a little, light on that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So first I want to just add to what Preeti was saying. It is absolutely on the educator how you take the lesson. So it's how engaging you can make it, because we have seen our children will sit in front of the TV for hours,
Yeah.
which is just a monologue, right? Because it is
Yeah,
insisting. That is why children are sitting. So that is
yeah,
what it is for a teacher now. The teacher has, like I said earlier, teachers has become a performer who has to go and perform in front of the child every day. So it's become
correct.
like that. And emotional connect is very important. We know our children at this age need that. And what we have done in our school, we certainly make sure that when we are doing the online engagement classes with our children, the teacher will make sure that in her lesson she is connecting with each and every child, or she is asking the question to each and every child. But we also know that each child is not too friendly to a screen. So if the child has not responded, she will make a call later after the session. So she will again touch base with the child and the parent, so that she is making that connection with the child. So what also happens here is that this is the new academic session what we have started. So our teachers didn't know anything about our learners who have just come into the class. They have never seen them. They have never seen the parents. And now the challenge is that they have to build that connect with those children. So it was again very difficult. So for that, teachers had to go out of their way to make sure that they are connecting with each child. And our parents have been very supportive. And I also feel that what Mr. Bansal was talking about, it is a very difficult time for our parents as well, because parents are sitting in their own meetings. They are doing the household chores. They are also looking after the entire house, and their own companies as well, working from home. And then on top of that, they have to teach the child, which they don't know a clue about. So it is a very, very challenging time for parents as well. So here the teacher steps in, and when they are seeing how the teacher is taking it forward, the parents are also enjoying that. And at any point, if a parent does not understand the parent connects with the teacher, and that partnership has grown so beautifully. And I think it has brought everyone very, very close. Staying separately, we've all become very close to each other, and I think that's the beauty of this entire session. And connecting emotionally is always if you pick up a call and talk to the child. So that's something
That's a very beautiful takeaway for all of us. So you see, our teachers, as I rightly said, are the edu heroes, isn't it? So with this, we have almost come towards the end of the session, and with certain online comments that are coming about reservations of conducting the online classes, or or their own reservations about different things, I would like to say here that we are in a crisis time. The COVID time is a crisis time for all of us. So the minute we are into a crisis time, we have to shift our mindset from an infinite to finite mindset. So we do not say that what we are doing is perfectly 100% foolproof. We are also into a stage of trial and error. And with that stage of trial and error, what we educators and what we teachers, our teachers are doing is the best that they can do in a human capacity. We are trying to in the short duration of time that we got, we are trying to convert our curriculums online, connecting with our students, and we are doing all this with keeping children as the crux of everything. We are more worried about the well-being of our children and the importance of keeping them engaged, and that's why we have taken to these online engagement plans with a full cooperation that is coming to all of us from parents. And certainly this is keeping the children going. Otherwise, the requirement of online engagement plans for the next academic year wouldn't have been there. So having said that, we still have these questions about how important or how good are screens for children or not. We are not arguing on that fact. We are not arguing on the fact our screens are very good for children. But when, as Abhinav also said, need is the mother of all inventions. So because there was a need, we had no option but to use the screen as a tool to reach out to our children. We are not debating on the fact that is it good or is it not good, but we had no option to actually debate. That was the only way we could reach out to our children. And we have taken that screens as our tool, but we are using it, we have turned it around, we have used it as an opportunity, and we have turned it around. And those screens are not just the screens, but they are a window for us to touch the life of our children every day through our interactive sessions that we are beautifully doing it. So that is the crux of this session, that we have kept the children as the center of the entire thing. We have beautifully designed the online engagement plans. For those who have already been witnessing it, I'm sure they will give us some feedback on that. Our teachers have been very proactive in putting all their creativity, hard work, and getting themselves equipped to be able to use technology and become the performers. Our parents have been very supportive to actually make this happening. So we are coping up with the COVID-19 pandemic or the crisis only because we are all working together. We are all working as a team, keeping the children as the center of the entire problem or the issue that we all are facing. So can we have a closing comment from all of you, starting from Mr. Rathore, that how do you call this COVID times as an opportunity turn into obstacle, turn into an opportunity, or how would you like to frame it?
Obviously, Kaushar, I can't say this is a good time for anybody, but yes, all of a sudden preschools upgraded their need curriculum or teachers skills and everything. So I must take this time, out of all the negativities, one positivity is there. What I was planning to do in next 2-3 years, I did it right now. What kind of technological implementation I was looking for in next 2-3 years, all of a sudden COVID-19 asked us to do all these things. And one more thing, the teachers of preschools were highly criticized by the parents, by the community also, teacher community, because they are not ready to learn anything which is related to technology. So now the need are make them to understand, make them to learn without the teacher in the physical classroom. So we just give them 2-3 days of training on Zoom, and they started like anything. They have become experts. So all of a sudden, the status of teachers have grown up like anything. Parents, the respect of the teachers in parents is increased like anything. So I think, anyways, this is not a good time, but yes, this is the positivity out of all the negativities. The respect of preschool teachers, respect of early year educators has increased like anything.
That's right. I agree with you on that, and we totally stand with together on this. That we educators have really emerged as superheroes in this COVID times. Sumita, what's your closing remark on this?
Yeah, so Kausar, I always feel that there is something good in whatever bad is happening. So I think the good which has come out of this situation is that education has become more open, more collaborative. We across the globe, everyone is sharing, so very open in sharing their own resources. A lot of people have shared their resources free for a lot of schools and parents to take it. People have started collaborating a lot. Education has started reaching out to everybody, even if they are sitting in their own homes. And certainly, yes, in that we all have learned so many new things, which we never thought that in early years we will stand up and learn this way of conducting our classes. But now I think we are much more equipped to handle any kind of a situation, even if it comes to early years. And I think these are the few very important takeaways from this very situation, where the entire paradigm of education is going to be shifting because of this situation across K-12, nursery to grade 12. Everybody is thinking about education in a very different light. So I think, which we all have been for ages talking about, that the kind of learning happens in early and primary years should be the learning for children, and children should be taking ownership of their learning. That's going to be coming out of this situation. So
Very
I
beautifully
think
said, Sumita.
And I want to add one more comment, that all of a sudden children starting becoming more responsible.
exactly.
Because
Right.
they learn how to sit in front of screen. They learn
No.
the screen is
Yes.
not for the games and cartoons only. The screen is for the learning also. So they have started
Also,
doing all those things.
Also,
Yeah.
Mr. Rathore, it's not just screen, it's also taking charge of household chores.
Yeah.
There are children who
Yeah.
are also doing that at home. So, taking ownership of their own living, I think that's the beauty of it. And our learners at this time, at this age, if they are able to understand that, I think when they grow up, they are going to be wonderful human beings. Yeah.
Yes. So I see that our online engagement plans are not just to engage children, but they have actually they've started making our children self-learners, self-initiated learners, and that's a huge positive impact. Preeti, how would you like to sum up your coping steps for COVID?
Unmute.
Yeah,
Just to avoid a lot of noise around me.
we understand. Yes.
Yeah. See, already Rathore sir and Smita has already explained it very beautifully. I'm just adding to that, because whatever facts they have given is absolutely right. But I just take this period as an opportunity. Let's call it a Corona vacation. It's not a summer vacation or a winter vacation. In summer vacation, also we used to move out of our with family and friends. It's a Corona vacation where father and mother both need to spend full time with their children, right? Where you cannot go out and you cannot
You're
have
right.
fun. You have to find out the ways where you can have fun with your family. You need to share one meal together. You need to do prayer together. I think use this period as an opportunity and build up and work and do investment on relationship building. Even schools can do relationship building investments while taking a lot of online session. Parent can do with their children. I think this is the best time when you know the strength and weaknesses of your family. When you know the strength and weaknesses of your children, you can actually work how to enhance the weaknesses and how to enhance the strength, so that in future your child will look at you as a friend, not as a parent. Because every time whenever child think you as a parent, they take a setback, because parent mature होते हैं, उनसे हर बात खुलकर नहीं कर सकते. There is a generation gap. But once you're talking about the friends, there is a no gap. The friends don't judge you. So I think this is a time when parents should not judge the child. I think parents should
Right.
not pre-assume ये तो ऐसा ही है, ये ऐसा ही होता है. Sometimes children do some naughtiness, parent used to school से सीख कर आया है, मैडम ने कहा है. All these things are now finished. Now parent and a child, I think this time we can also use when we are learning something new. This is the time when you can learn a new language, and lot of videos are available on a YouTube, even to your child. How to say namaste in English, how to say namaste in Punjabi, how to say namaste in Marathi, how to say namaste in French. All these things will help your child to build up his own personality. All these things will actually give you can work as a role model for your child, that if this kind of a situation comes in, then how to handle it and how to think and how to behave. This is a time when parent can behave as a best role model for their children. Every time
Beautiful.
every school does a lot of parenting seminar, this is a time to show and just win the situation.
Beautifully summed up, Preeti. Harshit, can we have it from you now? Can you give us a closing remark?
The school ecosystem always comprises of three elements. One is the parent, one is the student, and the third one is the teacher. I have one takeaway for all of these three entities. For the parents, this is a golden time to spend with your children, to get to know them, to enjoy your time with them, to understand their emotional well-being and their physical well-being, which they cannot do in their busy lives in each and every day. Secondly, coming to the child's point of view, we as educators might not be able to polish their numeracy or literacy skills up to the 100% mark. But there is one major and one important skill that we can polish, and that is the adaptive skill. Children in 21st century are only going to succeed if they are adaptive to the circumstances and environment around them. So the takeaway for the child in this is to adapt to any and the every situation that is present upon himself. The third and the most important entity from the school's point of view is the teacher. So for teachers community, I have to say that this is not the time to criticize. This is the time to complement the efforts of each other. This is the time to understand
I totally agree with you.
how much labor is going into creating each session, how much labor is going into taking one online class, developing the content, delivering that content, engaging the child online. As we already discussed, nobody was ready for this. So this is a time not to criticize. उसको वन लिखना आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा, he's learning the correct formation of A or not, don't mind. We still have enough time in his entire lifetime to teach him the standing line, the sleeping line, the curved line, the curves, the polygons, the triangles, the sentences, and everything. What we can teach him right now is adaptation, and which is the most essential survival skill required in the 21st century. So this is my closing from this session for all the parents, the teachers, and the children. Thank you.
It was a really, really amazing session for all of us. Where we have actually brought in our experiences, how we have coped up, and probably these takeaways will certainly help many schools to adapt ways and means in which they can actually take the COVID lockdowns. These are uncertain times that as I have already been saying, and this is unprepared times for all of us. So instead of sitting and thinking and brooding about what we have lost, if we start positively looking at it and reaching out to our children in the engagement plans, the way you all have beautifully given us, then that's a way that we can still be connected to our children. And collaboration and connectivity, social emotional well-being all gets positively folded into this entire package that we can create with students with the center in the center, and teachers and parents together around the children. With this, I would like to end my session, but I would like to end my session with certain questions that I would like to give to my audience. With this session, we have understood and we have little bit could walk through the challenges that educators and teachers have gone through. In spite the challenges, how they emerged as edu heroes. Then having seen all this, having seen their efforts, the extra efforts that they've been putting up, they also being in the same lockdown, the amount, and they also being in that emotional trauma, instead they have been giving that time to help our children being engaged, and how we can create a positive environment around our children by reaching out to them through the online engagement sessions through these times. So here is a question that I would like to ask all of you. Do you still have that question of should we still, are you still thinking about the fee payments of uh, the, should we not? Now just think about it. Are the schools or the educators not giving more than what they could have inside their classrooms? Have they not all of them emerged as superheroes in these difficult times? So should they be acknowledged? Should they be encouraged, or should they be discouraged by raising a question on the credibility of their work? With this, I would like to end my session, and thank you all of you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and all the audience who were listening us, watching us on Facebook Live and Zoom. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.